At that long-range data, any rain out there in the forecast, we'll let you know right here on Weather Extra.
And did you know it snows every night on the campus of Texas Christian University? We'll show you how a snow room is being used to help athletes recover more efficiently.
Plus, your viewer pictures like this lovely picture of the moon will tell you how you can be a part of the show.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
And welcome in, Tania, Lauren. You did hear that correctly. That was snow room, by the way.
Crazy. Yeah, I could tell when Tania was reading it. She was like, "Now,
hey, I need to go to that university."
I know, right? We may all need to enroll back at Texas Christian University because that sounds like a pretty nice time.
But no snow here tonight,
No.
right?
No,
Oh, no.
We're just like just a little bit of moisture, maybe just dew on the lawn tomorrow morning. I mean, we need a little bit of help there in the rainfall department. And I noticed today, I could tell there were a couple of reports out there, some grass fires. Need to make sure next few days you're being extra careful. Burning is going to be a concern as we get towards the end of the week because we have expanding drought conditions now across the state of Alabama. This is the time of the year when we have some of our driest weather. If it's not a tropical system around, we get into these patterns. We have hot afternoons. It's like that southwest heat, right? It really heat up in the afternoon, but with the less moisture at night, those temperatures do take quite a tumble. We're still in pretty good shape over East Alabama rainfall budget-wise. Now that will change in this pattern. You can see abnormally dry conditions from Birmingham back in towards West Alabama. But what you're seeing further south, not far from Demopolis, those are level 3 severe drought conditions in those areas, and that is only going to expand over the next few days. And it's sort of kind of a negative feedback you get into with these drought situations. There's an old saying, drought feeds drought, and when you have this kind of pattern, it's tough to really have moisture or rain that pop up, especially when you have those marginal rain chances in the forecast. But developing drought across the area, hotter afternoons. There could be an isolated shower, just being very optimistic here. But tomorrow night, a disturbance that moves in from the north, it may squeeze out a shower or two. Some of the data is picking up on that. We're going to show you, but most of us will stay dry. No problems this evening. In fact, it's going to comfort levels improve rather quickly tonight. As you can see, by 8, 9 o'clock, we're back into the 70s. A good night again to get a walk in, take the pup out for a walk around the neighborhood with that northeast breeze. Tomorrow we start out, I think we still could see some upper 50s in areas to the far north, far northeast, but in general, lows in the 60s, and then we warm up to around 84 at 11 o'clock. But look how quickly by 1 o'clock we're already 88, some areas close to 90. So it's big temperature fluctuations in this kind of pattern. There will be plenty of sunshine in the mix, and also that light north wind will make a return for tomorrow. And those overnight temperatures, even the overnights, will modify over the next few days. You can see the wind for tomorrow out of the north at about 5 to 10. Now let's take a quick tour around the state of Alabama right now, live from Gulf Shores. We have 82 degrees and seeing a red flag there along the coast, but no precipitation, no clouds, and at the moment, all quiet in the tropics. And today is a special day. It's actually the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. That is today, and amazingly, no systems out there, no name systems at the moment. 84 in the Magic City, live look from Birmingham. We have a nice north wind. West Alabama, live look from Avadian Credit Union in Vernon. A light north breeze there at about 3 miles per hour, but our first alert sky vision, some nice sky views there across the state. And we're going to have an opportunity to spot the International Space Station coming up later this evening. I'll be showing you when and where that's coming up.
Well, disaster averted. That's the message out of Alaska. New barriers help stave off an emergency flooding situation in Alaska's capital, thanks to the Army Corps of Engineers. So could lessons learned there be applied to other parts of the country, including here in Alabama? William Lajunas has the story.
This river behind us was probably 12 feet higher than it is right now.
It could have been a disaster, but Alaska's capital was spared from historic flooding this week when new barriers installed along the Mendenhall River held back record levels of water and prevented widespread damage. It started Wednesday when an ice dam at a nearby glacier released a massive amount of rainwater and snowmelt.
You can imagine there's just a torrent of water coming down this river about 60,000 cubic feet per second, which is enough to fill up an Olympic-sized swimming pool in about 2 seconds.
The dam break prompted evacuations in Juneau, but unlike previous years, no damage reported, no homes destroyed. The floods have become an annual concern, with glacial melt each spring filling a basin with water.
The Mendenhall Glacier is acting as a dam, and so it impounds water. This year it was about 16 billion gallons of water.
Residents are happy the new barriers held, but they're not without controversy. Homeowners covered 40% of the cost, about $6,000 per household over the next decade. But with floods expected to return for at least the next 60 years, there were few formal complaints.
A lot of the planning that's taking place is looking forward to, what can we do to protect homes for the next number of decades.
The Army Corps of Engineers is studying the situation and plans for a more permanent solution. In Los Angeles, William Lejeunesse, Fox News.
This is going to be All right, in these kind of weather conditions, one good thing, it's always great weather for sky watching, and there's going to be some opportunities over the next few nights to spot the International Space Station. And we have times throughout the year we can spot the station, but we always like to pinpoint. We have those 5-6 minute windows there to check it out. But tonight, look west at 8:44 p.m. Central Daylight Time, visible for 5 minutes. The International Space Station, it's going to reach a max height, though, only around 18 degrees. Tomorrow night, it rises at 7:55 p.m. Look west, and it's going to rise to about 29 degrees, so it will be a little bit higher in the sky. But still should be a beautiful night out there if you're out catching a walk. And just know in the morning, again, a nice cool start, but these afternoons really heating up. That's one of the big stories. In addition to will we see some rainfall, we'll show you next. We'll try to answer that question in the 10-day forecast.
Well, the Trump administration has dissolved a working group that issued a controversial report showing doubt on the severity of climate change. Climate scientists are declaring the dissolution a victory. The report by the group of 5 well-known climate contrarians portrayed climate change as potentially beneficial. The group's end can be traced to a lawsuit. That lawsuit alleged the group's formation violated the Federal Advisory Committee Act. It claimed the group's formation was not disclosed until months after it started working, and members were selected to deliberately represent a one-sided argument. Well, coral reefs are key to supporting important ecosystems on Earth. Researchers at the University of California, San Diego are experimenting with a new way to protect coral reefs from future damage from things like pollution and climate change. Vanessa Paz spoke with one of the researchers on the project and gives us an inside look.
So these are the tanks.
Inside a small and temperature-controlled room at UCSD's Scripps Institution of Oceanography.
We are increasing the temperature in these tanks.
Associate researcher Daniel and his team start their day tending to an unusual nursery.
They feed on little tiny particles.
Tanks filled with baby coral.
It's our approach to enhance the growth.
These corals are part of a series of experiments aimed at reviving reefs threatened by warming oceans.
Are they looking good?
Pollution and disease, the main drivers of coral bleaching.
Bleaching is basically a stress response. When coral gets sick, essentially, it loses the main compartment that produces energy. So you can imagine like an engine. And so these are tiny microscopic algae that live inside the animal. And primarily when it gets too hot, those algae are expelled from the tissue. And so then that makes the coral weak and can lead to death.
Now, Daniel and his team have a new tool.
This liquid, especially because when you shine light on it, becomes jelly.
SnapX, a scented gel that can be painted or sprayed onto damaged reefs or even 3D printed attachments like this one, made in their lab.
We try to create an environment that the baby coral likes.
Coral larvae are picky where they settle. They look for chemical cues from healthy reefs. SnapX uses natural chemicals from crustous coralline algae to mimic those cues.
On a degraded reef or an artificial reef, you don't have these chemical signals, or you have less of those, right? You might have signals that come from competitive algae that actually deters the coral larvae from settling. So you get an individual animal from the entire colony.
In lab and field tests, coral treated with SnapX attracted 20 times more larvae than untreated surfaces. It works immediately and lasts up to a month.
We've studied the main reef-building corals in Hawaii and showed that these scents work for this coral. But we have more work to do.
Daniel and his team also developed Coral Guard
to enhance the survivorship of the recruits.
It's a protected coating that blocks harmful competitors from growing over new coral. And they've created a new particle that could reduce coral bleaching by lowering toxic stress chemicals inside the coral. And the best part, all of it, including SnapX, is made with natural biomaterials, essentially taking from nature to give back to nature.
The causes of reef degradation are man-made. So why shouldn't the solutions be man-made as well? For anyone that has been diving on a reef, you know the beauty. There's a high aesthetic value. Coral reefs are hotspots of biodiversity. About 1/4 of all marine life of biodiversity is hosted in coral reefs. And at the same time, they are also a powerhouse in terms of the ecosystem goods and services they provide.
It snows every night for about an hour.
Well, how one university is using extremes with weather to help its athletes recover. Could this soon be coming to Tuscaloosa and Auburn? We'll let you know after the break.
You're watching WBRC 6 News, Alabama Broadcasters Association's Station of the Year.
Another very nice dry evening out there. Nice evening for a little baseball game, and it's not too hot at the moment, but we do have 84 degrees. It's more of a dry heat that we've been dealing with. Notice the dew point, it's 56. That's a low dew point, and that's what's really helping us out. It's not that real, that rough dog days of summer kind of humidity. However, we will gradually see moisture levels improve, but with a developing drought, abnormally dry conditions, that will also contribute to keeping those moisture levels rather limited. But as we take a look right now, AccuTrack all dry, 75 at Coleman, but still seeing those 80s to the south. And next 24 hours by 9-10 o'clock tonight, we're down into the low to mid 70s in some areas. Notice tomorrow morning, I want to stop it at 7 a.m. A good chance in the morning we could see some upper 50s, especially notice Ashland showing 59 at 7 o'clock. And outlying areas will certainly see some upper 50s and then some 60s as you get closer to places like Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, also around the cities of Gadsden, Oxford, Anniston there in the morning. But afternoon, back to upper 80s. Crank up the AC again, that heat hanging on. We got another week coming up next week with highs mid to upper 90s. So we got some very hot afternoons, but it is interesting here. And we were talking about this earlier. Tania had mentioned that chance to have a shower. Look at this. There's 7 o'clock tomorrow night. You see a little bit of green showing up on the map. I can't promise a lot out of this, much at all, but there might be an isolated shower that tries to hold together and reach us there to the far north. But some of us we may have a lucky winner out there tomorrow night as far as the chance of a shower, but it's not a lot, only a 20% chance of rain. But that means if you are heading out to the Evanescence concert in Tuscaloosa, big show tomorrow night, should be overall some nice weather conditions there, 8-9 o'clock, temperatures in the 70s, but should be a nice evening here in T-Town for concert Thursday. And looking ahead to the college football weekend, also looks like those dry conditions will hold on into Saturday. Tropical system developing way out over the eastern Atlantic, possibility. It's a low chance of developing. This has been a popular zone. We've been seeing this a lot, these waves that are moving off the coast of Africa, chances of those becoming better organized. But the thing about it is as we've been seeing these systems move across the Atlantic, they have struggled somewhat. We'll keep an eye on this, but certainly no concerns for development at this time. Now down the road that could change. October coming up is typically our driest month on average, but we have seen some powerful October hurricanes in the past, so this doesn't mean hurricane season is completely over. Still need to watch the tropics closely over the next several days. And it's been interesting, some of the long-range models in the next week have been showing down around the Gulf region some unsettled weather, so we'll keep an eye out down there, but no major impacts for us. Again, the big story, hot afternoons, and just know with these drought conditions, I would avoid burning if possible. Just be extra cautious out there, and certainly make sure those fall gardens have water. We may see a few scattered showers as we go just beyond the 7-day and into that following weekend, but we'll talk more about the long range coming up. Right now, let's check in with Lauren.
Hey, Wes. Well, you can see as plain as day on that 10-day forecast. Summer is not going anywhere just because fall is around the corner. It may not necessarily feel like fall. And we can actually look at climate data over the past 50+ years from our friends at Climate Central. And we can see that the summer heat has been lingering. You get a day, or you get each year that summer heat just appears to be lingering longer. And we've seen over the past 50 years that summer heat can typically last about 18 days later. That's over 2 weeks longer, extending that summer period into fall. And so what are we looking at here? Well, let's say back in the 1970s, maybe the last day where temperatures were above 85 degrees would be late September, early October. But as we look over time, over a 50+ year period, you can see that may actually be maybe mid-October. Even as we look at the last couple of years, we've been seeing those 85-degree days extending all the way, unfortunately, into November. Hopefully that won't happen this year, but it's certainly something we want to look at. So what are the impacts that we could see if we continue to see a trend towards these lingering summer days? Well, one of the biggest ones, the #1 weather-related killer, is heat. So you could be seeing a situation where there are more heat-related illnesses. I've talked with you all a lot about how certain medications can make you more prone to heat stress. So that's certainly something to be mindful of. And it can also cause a longer allergy season. We know this time of the year, I feel like we focus so much on spring allergies, trees, but when we get into the fall, ragweed likes to rear its ugly head, so that could allow that to extend longer. And then, of course, higher energy consumption. I don't know about y'all, if it is not cold in my house at night, I will not be sleeping, and I'll be a pill about it. So we could see situations where if we continue to see longer summers, that's going to cause our energy bills to be higher in months when they should be going a little bit down, and you should be seeing that natural AC. And of course, we know the mosquitoes are very stubborn around here. They love the heat and humidity, so we could see mosquitoes lingering into months when fall should be taking over, and also in areas that we have to watch, especially with us here with the potential for drought impending. You have to watch for extended wildfire season. So definitely have to think about the fact that as we here in the Southeast are one of the regions in the U.S. that has the most ACs in our home, that could affect us even more because we continue to consume that energy with the rising heat level. So we'll always dig into that climate extra for you here on Weather Extra. Let's focus on the weather patterns here beyond the 7-day with meteorologist Tania Michelle. Any more fall fronts in the forecast?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
But I can show everyone better than I can tell them. So let me take them to a look at our Climate Prediction Center's outlooks. Precipitation is one of them. We start with our wet weather. Could we be seeing more rain in the days ahead? Well, unfortunately, across central Alabama, below average. So the answer is no. As far as it feeling like fall, the answer is no to that too. Take a look at across the United States. We're not the only ones going to be battling the heat. All of the United States highlighted under above average temperatures. Our average here across central Alabama this time of the year is in the upper 80s. And we've already shown you in our 7-day forecast that we're going to be in the mid-90s early next week. But this is showing us as we approach the middle of the month through the 20th of this month, more above average temperatures will likely be around. So be prepared for the hot weather. We'll be talking more about the heat on Weather Extra tomorrow. But from heat now to snow. Check this out. Did you know Texas Christian University has a snow room? It's meant to help athletes recover. It's a first for college athletics in North America. I need to know more about this, and Lauren Brown is going to tell us.
It's a little chilly in here.
Olivia Kleins is part of TCU's reigning champs beach volleyball team.
We're going to definitely use this to get another national championship.
Klein says the snow room is helping student athletes recover faster.
Yeah, I've been in here pretty much every day, either going in the snow room or the chairs or red light. Like, I'm using this place often.
And it snows every night for about an hour, and it is a real brine water solution. It's the same formula they use in the Alps for skiing when there isn't enough snow for snowboarding or snow skiing, and then it defrosts itself once a week.
Deputy Athletics Director Gretchen Boughton says the snow room is a first for college athletics in North America.
There are a few in Canada and North America at some spas, but we are the first, and it's in Europe, it's in Australia and China. A lot of professional soccer and rugby programs have it. That's how we found the design.
She says student athletes often prefer snow to the traditional plunge pool.
I'm seeing most of the athletes do prefer to be cold and dry for 8 to 10 minutes. It's a little less stressful on the body.
The snow is next door to a sauna, allowing athletes to experience a 183-degree temperature swing.
It's 7 degrees in here, so it's like we say it's Texas in the sauna and Colorado over here, so you get the best of both worlds.
Jana Singleton, a former student athlete and now coordinator of the Recovery Center, says contrast therapy helps athletes get back on the field or court faster and endure more intense practices.
With the hot therapy, your muscles tend to relax, so you're able to get a lot more blood flow. And then with the cold therapy, it kind of constricts them. So the dilating and constriction is what we encourage, which helps the lactic acid in your muscles be released, which helps to aid to faster recovery.
With a school whose chant is about bringing the heat, it's also now delivering the cold. Lori Brown, Fox 4 News.